Hey everybody, it's Scott O'Mato back for episode 8 of my Thaumcraft 1 Let's Play. Guys, in this episode we're going to put some of the tools that we have been making to work in doing our first setup to create quite a bit of V using the Obsidian Generator that I showed in other episodes along with red power. Okay, so to do so we're going to want to first upgrade this Crucible. Now you can see I got quite a bit of Thaum in here, or quite a bit of V as it's known, and there are multiple levels of the Crucible. There's 3 levels of them, and we just have the first level up to this point, and we're going to want to produce the second level. Now the bad thing about this first Crucible is that V can overflow, and when it does so, it'll create a thaumic slime, and it could potentially explode. All right, so it's problematic in that way. This next version is the Crucible of Eyes, and it sends out a redstone signal when the crucible is full. So, you know, much like a mana pool from Botania wood, it sends out a redstone signal. And then the third level, the Thaumian Crucible, will send out a redstone signal, but it'll also reject all other additional items. This guy can still overflow if you don't have some means to stop stuff coming into it, but we're going to use redstone automation to do that. So for this guy, we need to produce what is known as the seeing symbol, okay? And then we need a V's crystal, a regular crucible, and some iron. Okay, now the seeing symbol is with a spider eye. It's infused with the spider eye. So I have a couple of blank symbols here, and I should have sufficient amount of V. If not, we'll add more. So we want to infuse one of the blank symbols. I'll go ahead and make 2, but I want to be sure I have enough V to make the first one. So we infuse that along with the spider eye. You can see it, you know, takes a little bit. It's kind of fast because this is filled up. And it'll go through and produce our seeing eye symbol, or seeing symbol. All right, so let's see how much V that used. Not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and produce another one. All right, because this is actually a redstone device, this seeing symbol. Okay, and you can put filters on it to affect what it does. All right, so it's like a redstone trigger. Let's sleep real quick. So if, you know, I place it down somewhere and get some redstone. Okay, let's do it just horizontally right now. You can see it's sensing me. So when I'm within 7 blocks of that symbol, it will trigger. Now it'll also trigger for mobs and items as well. If I add an item here and I back away, then it'll still be triggered because it's reading the item. So it's reading all entities without any runes, all right, to convert it. All right, so let's just take a look at that symbol in the book real quick and see what the different runes will do for it. This one's kind of a little bit back. Seeing symbol right here. So iron rune doubles the area of it. It'll only detect hostile with a redstone rune. It'll only detect the player with a gold rune. We're going to want that. And it only detects animals with the lapis rune. It only detects items with a flint rune. Okay, so we're going to want to produce a gold rune as well, just so that it's useful for the player. So I'll do that here in a moment. But for right now, let's just go ahead and reclaim that guy. And our other one should be done. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and infuse the blank rune with gold to get a gold rune. Again, checking our V. We should have enough probably. Yeah. All right, so that'll give us our gold rune. So again, you can use this in automation, right? For anything for redstone. Now with the gold rune, it'll only detect the player. For instance, I can use it to open my door. So put the symbol over the door. Now, without any runes, any mobs or whatever could open the door as well. It's like a basic pleasure right there. But with this one, it's only the player. So once I move through the door, it'll turn off. All right. And then on this side, I don't believe it triggers on the back side. Let's remove the pressure plate for a moment and test that. No. Okay, so it's only what's facing it. That's fine. That's good. That's what we want. Go out the door. Door shuts. Now, of course, it's kind of annoying because anywhere we're working along this area, within 7 blocks, it'll affect it. But that's okay for the most part, as long as it's only player triggered. So that's a definite upgrade to the pressure plate, the regular pressure plate. By the way, if you've noticed, I've added a couple of these cabinets in between episodes. This is from the More Storage mod, and I have this storage tower, which they're stackable and they give you different levels. Each storage tower has 4 levels, and then you can click between them. So there's 8 here, so it's 32. So this is 64 storage right there. So that, you know, kind of interesting. Just give you some variety in storage. All right. So since we've produced this guy, the seeing symbol, we should have what we need to produce this crucible here. Okay, I have all the items in my inventory I should have, and let's go ahead and get that and try to get our next level of crucible, which I'm going to just produce an additional one beside the one that I already have. Not seeing it. I always play this game. Let me check all my items. Seeing symbol, 4 iron, a V's crystal. The iron is what I'm missing. Okay. And by the way, if you've been following the episodes, I was, having trouble at first. There's the Crucible of Eyes. With using the R key assignment along with this for sorting. This thing sorts like really slow, so now I've reassigned that to the Y key. It doesn't matter what key, but now it works perfectly fine for viewing recipes and stuff like that. So just be aware if you have inventory tweaks, or if you're using this pack that I made, to have different assignments for sorting and for the looking at recipes, because it doesn't work as well along with that. Okay, so now we've got the Crucible of Eyes. That's going to be the first step of our automation, which will, again, sense redstone current, all right, or sense the fill level and send out redstone. So then the next thing is we're going to need a breaker, okay, and I have that produced here. That's from Red Power, the block breaker. So that's just with 6 cobblestone, piston, iron, pickaxe, and some redstone. We have that produced, all right. Now for a future need, we're going to need to do a NOT gate, and we'll do that in a little bit, but I'll show you the basic setup first. So just for the very basics, all we need is our Obsidian Generator, the block breaker, and then the Crucible, okay? And then a lever and some redstone to trigger it, all right? So we're going to just set this up back here, just along the back wall. I'm planning on building like V storage and stuff here. We'll probably end up going into this wall and this wall a little bit. But I just kind of want to get started with our setups. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and dig into the floor. Let's see. Let's kind of get centered like right here. We'll be fine. Give us one away from the floor. All right. And we'll put our Obsidian Generator in the floor. That'll just give us a better level to work with. Okay. Then up against that, we can just place the block breaker. And it's like a piston. It faces, away. So the direction you go away from where you want it to be, where you want the front to be. Now, the cool thing about this guy is that it will feed directly out of the back, out of this hole, into the Crucible. So we don't need any kind of cabling or anything like that to do it. Now we just need a method to re-trigger this over and over. Now, Red Power has a timer, and for later circuits that we do, we can do a timer, and it'll continually trigger it, but we can use a redstone trick as well, okay? So I could use the simple redstone trick of sending redstone through this block into the breaker, all right? So I can easily put a dot of redstone right there, and then put a lever that just enables the redstone, okay, like that. And now, whenever it senses Oh, it needs to be in line with it. Yeah, it needs to be. I got that back. I'm always worried when you don't get it back. You know, redstone's directional, so you need to have it facing into that block itself. So now when a new one's produced, it won't even show. So, you know, this eliminates any type of lag as much too. And it's going to go right into here. Now that's cool because Obsidian is one of the highest producing items for creating V. And we'll use an item later to actually measure that and measure different items. Some of this I'm going on tutorials, but I do know that Obsidian is one of the highest as far as readily available materials, and it seems to be what people prefer to use. And so, you know, we have this Obsidian generator that works well. All right, and then when we turn the lever off, then it won't trigger anymore, so that's easy to do. All right, but we can improve this because right now this thing can overfill. All right, it can go through and it can overfill. So to improve that, we're going to make a NOT gate from red power. Okay, I'm going to make a NOT gate. So let's look at the recipe of that. The recipes for some of the gates in red power are kind of not difficult, but you know, in depth a little bit. So for this, we need stone wafers. We need 4 of those. I already have those produced. We need anode. We need 3 anodes, a cathode, and a wire. All right. I should have the items for that stuff when I pull out here. I already have 1 anode, and so we needed a total of 3 and then a cathode. I hear a item. I hear one of the wisp. I want to be sure he's not in here. So okay, we now should be able to get 2 more anodes is what we want. So 2 more of those. Actually, the recipe produces 3, so that's fine. Then we need a cathode. So for that, we need some redstone torches, which I do have made right here. Okay. So that will give us 1 cathode is what we want. Yeah, 1 cathode. Then we need some stone wire, which is also redstone torches. And so let's see how many of those we needed. I think 2, might just be 1. Yeah, just 1 it looks like. Okay, so 1 wire. Let's grab that real quick. And there's our wire. All right, now we should be able to produce the NOT gate. We have all the items. Cathode, stone pointer. All right, there's the NOT gate. Excellent. Okay, so what this is basically an inverter. All right, so it's basically just going to invert the redstone signal. So if I hook it up here, which I should let this, well, it's all right. We'll watch it. Then when this is off, this is on. That's what we want. So I just run another piece of redstone right there. This directionalizes it, so we're in good shape on it. Make sure. Okay. Now let's take the lever away. Don't need it. Again, we don't want to directionalize the signal, so we'll actually need to come out here and around like that. Okay. So this guy will continually trigger until that's full. And then soon as this is full, it'll send redstone, which will trigger the NOT gate and invert this redstone to turn it off. So now we have the fail safe on that. And so it won't take very long for this guy to fill up. Let's let it do that. Yep. So this is a nice automated system. Now, additionally, we could take more breakers and place along the edge. Like I could do another breaker here and another breaker here. All right. So let's actually look at that. I don't have the a generator made, but it shouldn't take just a moment. Let's look at that. Obsidian generator. Okay. So cobblestone, iron, lava buckets. We can get a lava bucket out of here. I got buckets in my inventory here. So let's grab that. Let's just see if I can filter with just a bucket. It should work. Now, so you can see it's sometimes hard to get to stuff. Like there it showed the water bucket. Here's the lava bucket. All right, so I just need 2 of those. I already have a water bucket, but I'll just grab one out of here. Okay. This bucket back. Okay, and then it was just cobblestone and 2 pieces of iron. Get some more iron. Okay, so we should have what we need to produce another one of those guys. Our thing's probably filled right now. Here we go on that. Okay, and so I already have another breaker in here. And that's pretty much all we need is just redstone to hook it up. It's cool that they feed directly in to each other. That's really nice. You can see this guy's filled. This is now triggered. It did one last cycle. That was after it turned it off. But as soon as it got filled, it triggered this, which deselected the whole thing, turned it off, basically. Okay, so that's cool. But you know, it's not really turned off, is it? Because the redstone's powered. The redstone's not powered as much as it was. Looks like it's lesser. But that's definitely working for our system here. So let's check that out. So I can get a conduit and pull out of this and put it into a node to store it, which you're going to want to build like a network of nodes that you store stuff in. So we can go into high-vis production right now and basically just over time produce as much as we want. So that's very cool. But again, I'll do the other setup here. I'm actually thinking now I'm going to end up moving this over by 1, probably. But the setup's the same. The breaker, let's see. The breaker will go facing here like that. And then we put the Obsidian Generator in the floor. Like such. And then when it produces, this will trigger, then we just hook it up same way as we hooked up this one. The NOT gate will handle both of them. They're both feeding into the same crucible. Now see, we don't want that to overfill. So let's see if this prevents it. Yeah. So see, that's triggered to be off. And that's exactly what we want. So it will no longer trigger when this is full. Now, if we pull V out of it, then it will trigger, all right? So V is used in, a bunch of things. You saw that it's used in crafting with the infuser. Now, there's another additional item that it's quite useful for that you can get early game, and that's called the Duplicator, all right? The Duplicator. And so the Duplicator is crafted as such. We'll go ahead and grab that. I've got all the items, should have. Let's see if I can get a duplicator. Let me make sure I have all the items. I always say that. I always say I have all the items confidently. Then I say, let me check if I have all the items. All right, so I have a piston, stone, obsidian, V crystals. What I'm missing, we used that in a recipe, I guess. So let's grab another one of those guys. And so the first version of Thaumcraft actually allowed you to do a form of duplication. Now it's slow, but let's hook it up to this. Again, I can put it right next to it. I'll put it on the front. Let me see if I want to do front side or back side. I'll rearrange some of this. Like this is definitely going to, all of it's going to scoot over by 1. But if I put the duplicator in here, and let's say I want to duplicate diamonds, which I do. All right, we use diamonds. So now I'll be able to come into this guy, place the item that you want in here. there's this button here that if you don't want to use up the item, okay, you want to recycle it because it'll take one and make two. I'm not sure why I'm not getting V from that. I was pretty sure you could just hook it up direct. May need to go underneath it is how I had it in my test world. Let's test that. Underneath it's going to be a little bit of a problem in this room. I can just use a conduit, of course. Maybe this is powered with redstone, and so it's not sending V. That could be a thing. Let's test that. Again, some of this is just pure testing to see how things work. I don't know all the mechanics, and there's, like, again, very little information out there. Let's take off the NOT gate for a second. Uh-oh. Now that's one thing I've found. For some reason, in survival, when I try to break these items in red power, they crash. It crashes my game. It doesn't in creative when I just break it. Let's look at the, I don't see the log yet, but let's look at the log. Yeah, it's this Noah Porter exception, and it's something to do with some of the class files for the player. Get part strength. It's the same crash. I'm gonna have to make a note of that and research it. But I did find that you could just take the item and break it underneath, the item underneath it, and make it drop. I'll research that crash to figure it out. I had that with the timer as well. I don't know why. Yeah, something, I don't know if it's some mod combination or need to make it, it's get power strength. So it's something to do with the redstone. It might be when it's active. You know, I'm not sure. But I did find that I could just remove the block below it. All right, so see, in some of these older mods, guys, you're just, well, even in newer mods, you're just going to have to deal with this kind of stuff sometimes. It's just is what it is. And, you know, you try to find workarounds around it. And if it doesn't work, then you just move on with your life. But let's see. This guy, if I go below it like that, then it's fine. Now, I hate how that is. Let me see if I have any leaves on me. I've been wanting to fill this bottom with leaves anyway. No, so I'll just do dirt temporarily. But yeah, I'm going to want to go in and fill all this because that floor being up one level has created a lot of issues for me every time I break. See, I lose the item. And wood and stuff I don't care so much about, but when it's an item I crafted. So yeah, we need to power. So it's fine if I break the item underneath it, you know. If I don't, then the timer did it too, so I'm assuming all the red power items are going to do that. Oh, not sure actually. Not sure what. I guess this is locking it. Yeah, this is locking those. Is what's going on. Okay. So because the crucible and there's ways around this stuff, guys. There's that thing called the valve I told you about. That I could trigger a valve to go off into the nodes. I'm not going to put the NOT gate down for a second here. Let's see. Let's get this going. And we need to empty this out a little bit. So I'm just going to get a conduit, and then I don't think I have any more nodes in here. I may have. Got a valve. Yeah, I got some nodes. Okay. Cool. And conduit. And then I'll show you the valve. I don't know that I'll do the automation setup for it right now. Maybe. I still need to work out a few of the details on how to do it. But basically, we want to put a conduit above it like such. Okay, and then the valve, I'll just show you how it works. We won't do the automation setup with it right now. But then we put a node connected to that. Okay, and then it's draining out this guy. And see, these will start working again once I power the redstone. Okay, and it's draining out into here. All right, and producing into this, which is using quite a bit of V to produce the diamonds. So we're doing a duplication right now. This is acting basically as an overflow for that, and I can turn the valve on and off by right-clicking it, or it's redstone active. So I could use the NOT gate to, when this thing is powered, to open the valve. The valve would normally be shut, and I would invert it to open the valve. So it's just all about arrangement and placement. But look, guys, duplicating diamonds with V, and we could have an endless supply of doing this. Now, I will say that I've hooked up 3 to this before, and 3 will, it can't really keep up. It seems like there's a limit of how much that can go in here. 2 of these, the V will drain down. All right, with 3 of them, the V will overflow eventually. I'll get more V that stays in the crucible than can be fed to the duplicator. All right, 2 of them, it'll drain a bit of V, and then once the V is empty, you know, it'll keep adding it as it goes. So it's an in-between state. I can't decide which is best. 2 does it slower, 3 does it a bit faster, but it's not a whole lot faster because, you know, you're up to the limit of what this is. So we may end up expanding that to 1 more. And again, I could put in the NOT gate just for the safety measure here. But I do want to go ahead and research that crash a little bit and figure out if we can work around it. If not, then it's not a big deal. You just break the block underneath that item, and I don't think it has anything to do with the type of tool or whatever that you break it with. It might have to do with if it's powered already. Could be a thing. Yeah, so look, we've already produced 3 diamonds doing that. And again, our V is limitless using these generator setups. So of course, the next thing you're going to want to do is feed that into a energy condenser to make dark matter and red matter and stuff like that based on these diamonds. Get our EMC up, and we can bridge these together. But as I showed you before, I can do a similar type of production. Right now I'm producing dark matter. Let's check that and see how far we've gotten along with it. Not even halfway yet on the dark matter. But of course, see, I mean, I could go and just immediately get these diamonds that I produced, feed it in there. There's 4 of them now. Okay. Put these in there, and see, that'll get me a lot more EMC to do the production of that. So basically, we'll kind of try to bridge these systems together a bit, but right now we're using Thaumcraft 1 to produce diamonds, and that's pretty cool, guys. That's pretty cool in these first versions that they give you this item, the Duplicator. So it's a pretty compact setup. Again, with the NOT gate, it's a safe setup. The next level of Thaumium Crucible is definitely very safe setup. And then we have our overflow. Now see, our overflow storage is filled now. So we would want to expand out to more nodes. Again, you just basically build a node network. By connecting them, they have to have a conduit in between them for you to bridge them. But I don't want to do that at this time to, well, I mean, I say waste V, but what do I care? I mean, I've got a limitless supply at this point. So yeah, let's just go ahead and just show how that works. So these work in networks like such, again, needing a conduit in between them. And this should flow into that one. They should keep a similar fill level. I guess it's only when needed. So this will keep full until this needs to drain more. But see, we're already at the bottom of our V production here. So basically, this is breaking the obsidian, throwing it in there, ejecting it out the back, which goes inside there. And so that's pretty cool that it works like that. Gotten 2 more diamonds produced since then. I guess we just don't need the overflow yet to get into here. No, because we're at the level of our V production. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. I think that is a cool setup. Thaumcraft to produce diamonds. Pretty fun. Anyway, this is Scott O'Mato. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We will do some variations on different ways of producing V just for the fun of it. The Obsidian Generators are a very direct and quick way of doing it. And again, we can do it with equivalent exchange. But we'll also come up with some other ways too, probably just for the fun of it. Anyway, I hope you'll stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed that. This is Scott O'Mato playing Thaumcraft 1. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.